Just so you know, I don't stare at myself on the phone whilst I'm driving. I'm just talking to you like I would talk to one of my friends while I'm driving. In the back, I don't know if you can kind of see, I've got like 7 pumpkins back there that I got from Cooper Hill Farm for the school that my son goes to. Anyway, yesterday, I'm just going to have a slight rant here about time. Time is valuable. Once the moment's gone, it's gone. And what irks me is when people are late. Now, I know things happen. We got trains where I come from that make people late. We got things that can happen. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about deliberate lateness. Because someone figures you need them more than they need you until you make some noise. So, yesterday, I took my granddaughter to check her iron because she's so tiny and she doesn't eat a lot, though lately she has. She put away a whopper in her 80-pound body. But anyhow, when I made the appointment, the receptionist, because I wanted an after school and after work appointment for obvious reasons. Well, the receptionist told me, oh no, the latest I can do for you is 11:45 because the doctors don't, if they don't have any, they like to stack their appointments because they don't want gaps in them. In other words, they don't want to have to wait around for you while they can go home or do whatever. Okay, no. I'm just like, okay, whatever. First, do no harm, even if it is just ruining somebody's day. So I was like, fine. I'll just have to go check her out of school, leave in the middle of the workday, and go sit there, get this done, check her back in, go back to work. I get there at 11:40. Sign her in. Sit there, ran into one of my old teachers, talked to her, sat there. I look at my clock after a while and realize that I've been sitting there for 50 minutes. But I was supposed to get there no later than 11:45, not to inconvenience this doctor who didn't want their day messed up. And there's plenty of people in that room, so I'm going, so I could have probably had a later appointment. What you think? So, I'm losing my work time. She's losing school time. So I walk up and I have RBF. Resting B-word face syndrome. Always have, always will, can't help it. I could be thinking the most wonderful thoughts and look like I want to hurt somebody. Well, when I'm mad, I can't hide it on my face. Or it must be my eyeballs. I don't know. But it tends to make people move or get away. And I've never hurt anybody. It's just the face. That's all I got to do without even trying. So I walk up to the desk and I say, how much longer is it going to be? I got to go back to work. Y'all told me to be here at 11:45 because I had to be here at 11:45 for the doctor's convenience because they don't like to spread appointments out. They want them stacked. But I've been sitting here for almost an hour and I need to go back to work and she needs to go back to school. Well, they look like I had pulled some sort of thing out of my arsenal besides my face because they started jumping and looking for a chart. What's her name? Oh, Dr. So-and-so's got her chart over there. Do you have time to come in now? I'm thinking, not really, but since I'm here, I'm like, okay, fine. So we get in there, get things done, and they want to give her a pokey poke of a certain thing, which I don't think young children should have yet, but she did need a pokey poke for something else. So I said, okay for that, but then they started mentioning another kind of pokey poke, and I'm like, no. Besides, this kid faints, like, after the first needle. No kidding. Her mom's the same way. And so is my youngest son. They just get queasy. I've never understood that, but I feel for people that do because I'm like, oh my gosh. That must be so embarrassing and scary for parents. So anyhow, after about all this, probably took another 30 minutes or so. And see, by the time I get out of there, it's not worth bringing her back to school. She went in there hungry because it was time for them to go to lunch. And I said, well, we shouldn't be long. We can get something after. Well, she's, at this point, fainting hungry. So I go get her a Whopper value meal, and she consumed that baby. And it's hard for me to eat a whole Whopper. So she just went back to work with me. But it just proved that my time wasn't important until I made some noise about it. And then suddenly, in order not to get blasted on Facebook, because that's what people around here will do, small towns especially. And I did mention it on Facebook. I just mentioned it. I didn't say what doctor's office, though everybody probably could guess. Because it's not unusual, apparently. But, and then I thought, well, should I put that? You know, the job I have, people are going to think I'm being uncharitable or whatever. I'm like, no. I'm leaving it there because it's the truth. People need to respect your time just as much as I need to respect your time. So if I have an appointment with you, then I'm going to be on time. I expect you to be on time as well. It's just like work. When I've worked in retail, you have no idea how many people think that because they stubbed their toe or some random, now sometimes that really hurts, but I'm just saying some random stuff that people my age tend to just keep going and go to work will find excuses to be late, when in actuality, they were too busy with their Snapchat or something, especially the Gen Zs that I have had. Not all Gen Zs. I've had a few Gen Zs that were excellent workers. And I mean, wow, they were excellent workers. At 2 at Hibbett's, when I managed Hibbett's, I had this one girl. She was awesome. Alexis was her name, and she is an awesome worker. Wherever she will go, she will be an awesome worker. And another young man. But anyway, the rest of them, Lord have mercy. I'm like, did your parents teach you anything? Because mine did. But I digress. My time's important. And it's valuable. That's why sometimes I get to work early, because I know, even though I'm not getting paid extra to be here, because I'm a salaried individual, and that's what salaried individuals do. They end up working more anyway because of what they do. But because I respect where I work, I want to get, if I'm working on something, I want it done as clear as I possibly can do it. If I work at a school, I want to get there before the kids. You know, just if I work at a store, I want to get there before it opens. So that's my little rant. You call it a rant, but it's reality. People are so self-absorbed that they don't think about anyone else but themselves. And yes, we have to take care of ourselves, but we need to be respectful for each other too. And that is a biblical thing. The golden rule, some people call it, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And there's some people that make sarcastic remarks and say, I don't care what you do. I'm going to do what I want to. I'll do what you what I would like. You're irrelevant to me. Well, everybody's relevant, especially to God. I'm just as relevant as that irritating doctor's office did me yesterday. There are people are relevant. And I told the registration people and the little nurse, I said, I'm not complaining to you. I'm complaining about this policy I was told about. That they didn't want to be scheduled outside of their time frame. You know, they stacked their appointments for their own benefit. They didn't have to stay there all day. Well, look, I didn't want to stay there all afternoon, but yet I did. Y'all have a blessed day. I got work to do.